So in our last video, we basically completed our live binder. We've got it organized. Um, Perhaps we could rename this tab to something a little more meaningful. And we're ready to preview it. So there it is. There are my web tools. They all work. There are my worksheets. I can view those because they're Google Docs. And here are my downloads. Now with the downloads, when I click on the link, because they're in a format that's not going to be read by a browser, they're a Microsoft Word file, so the browser is not going to try to interpret those, it's going to download them. So this is a good way to distribute files to people, but not so much to view them on the internet. Okay, that concludes our brief tour of how to create a live binder, but there's one other thing I want to show you about the site. When you entered the site, you were on a page similar to this, the home page, and you simply signed in. Next, there's the My tab, which brings you to your area where you can create binders. If your district or school was really bought into this, you had a principal who loved this and wanted all the curriculum up that way and was paying enough to, paying a fee in order to have that happen, you could arrange these things in shelves. So you could group them and go to larger organizational units. You could also get statistics on those binders and view any comments that were made by people who had access to them. The next tab I want you to take a look at. If you never make a live binder in your life, go to the Featured tab. These are different categories. This category is animals, art, autos, and a little further down we're going to find education, which is good for us. And these are live binders that other people have put together that have been made public. So iPads in school. There's a nice one for us, and we click on it. And we see that someone has collected these nice resources and shared them out. Let's see what their strategy was. Okay. So they populated those top tabs, sometimes with pictures and just to kind of neaten it up and make it look nice. And then their sub-tabs include their actual resources, which is nice. If you look a little further down on the page, there are educational searches. If this is closed, just open it up. And these are subcategories that might be useful for schools. So here are some sample binders for second grade, for instance. The last tab is giving you a pricing structure. Now, if we look at standard pricing, it's going to tell you that there's a limit of 5 binders, that there are 2 levels of tabs. So on a free account, you can't go deeper than 2 levels. It's 100 megabytes of storage and a 5 megabyte maximum upload. And then as you move up the scale and pay a little bit, this is $50 a year, $200 a year, you essentially get more space and more capabilities. Okay, so if someone was seriously interested in that, they could look into it. For education pricing, you can see that the same categories exist, the same limits exist. It's simply a slightly lower price. Okay, that concludes our tour of live binders. The only comment I want to make at this point is that this is one method or strategy to organize, distribute, display materials from the internet. Being in this program and living in this day and age, you know that there are many, many ways to do this. Essentially, if you can get your resource online, which you can simply by uploading it to your Google space, you can create something like this, be it in live binders, be it in an Edmodo or a Google Classroom, be it on a Google site, a WordPress, any myriad of different ways to make this work. And live binders is just something that may appeal to certain people because of the organizational structure it represents.